I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, if you've been a watcher of my blog here for a while, you guys know I've been forecasting this since earlier this spring that we finally got our first interest rate cut on June 5th. Bank of Canada gave us a 25 basis point cut on June 5th with lots more coming. Now, if you've been watching me, my blog here, I've been telling you guys about this for a long time. I didn't know when it was going to come. I said it'd probably be early summer, mid or late summer, and then some more this fall, and then expect more to be the real bulk of them to start happening in the first half of 2025. So gave us a 25 point cut in rates. It's not going to do, as I said in past blogs here, a whole lot to the market yet. Although it is going to bring some people off the sidelines, because a lot of buyers, some anyways, were looking for the first tangible interest rate cut. We've been talking about it for a while, but now that we've got one, it probably will spur a few more buyers off the sideline. But stay tuned. I'll give you guys my market update here for summer 2024. We're now into the dog days of summer, and the market has slowed here since my last update a couple of months ago. We had a good spring, really solid spring market. I was in bidding wars on a lot of stuff. I've got 4 listings right now. A couple of them I'm not getting a whole lot of action on, and they're pretty good homes, but this is to be expected. We're now into the summer months. July, August tend to be the 2 slowest months of the year for sales. But I think as these interest rates get cut, we're going to start to see the market get a little busier, especially once the fall comes. So the consensus here, and I want to talk about that as well, because you guys know I've been talking about this for a while, these interest rate cuts, and boy, did I ever get a lot of hate on my blog here. Not just me, but anyone on YouTube or Twitter or X, some of the really high-level guys I follow, money managers, people from economists from the TD and Royal Bank. Anytime they talked about the interest rate cuts coming this year, boy, they got a lot of pushback. There's no way interest rates are coming down. As a matter of fact, a lot of people said they were going up. And have a look at a couple of the blogs I did talking about this. And, you know, again, as I had said in that blog, I mean, where are some of you guys getting your information from? It's scary. You know, the consensus was that rates were going to come down. A lot of people said, no, we're not going to reduce rates because the U.S. isn't going to reduce rates until later this year or next year. And we have to follow the U.S. No, we don't. You know, our economy is much different than it is in the United States. We're in a recession here in Canada. The Liberals just don't want to admit to it. But we are just slipped into a recession here. I think it's probably going to get a little bit worse, the economy, under the socialist rule we are with the NDP and Liberals. So we had no choice. The other precursor to this that I've talked about is have a look at the Canadian peso. The Canadian dollar. It's been on a steady decrease here, losing value for over 3 months now. I think in the last 3.5 months, it's dropped about 5 cents. That's the precursor to interest rates getting cut. In other words, money managers, the bankers, are already reading the tea leaves here that rates are going to be cut, and they're devaluing the Canadian dollar. And that's going to probably continue. So on the forecast now, I'll give you guys the consensus again. Again, there's no guarantee with this, but the experts that I follow, economists, are calling for 2 more rate cuts later this year. We might have another one as early as late July. Probably September, they're calling for another 25 basis points. And then another one later this fall, October or November. A lot are calling for a 50 basis point drop. So that would give us a total of 100 basis points, or 1 full percent drop by the end of this year. And then, of course, all the economists I'm following are suggesting that they're going to get Bank of Canada will get a lot more aggressive in the early part of 2025. And we could see 3 or 4 hikes before June of next year. And that could take the rate a total down of about 2 to 2.5%. And that will have a material effect on the markets. That will get a lot more buyers out there as these rates continue to get lowered. What I would say is we're probably going to have a pretty decent fall. We're a little slower now for the summer months, but I think spring 2025 will be a very strong market, just for the simple reason that we don't have a lot of inventory, not a lot of high quality homes for sale, and there never is. We're pretty much always in a seller's market. And by that time, interest rates might be down another 1.5%. That's going to get buyers out there. A lot of pent-up demand, limited inventory, and interest rates coming down. So a lot of people will try and get in front of that. Latest report I got from a couple of my mortgage guys and my main guys from TD and Royal, a lot of their clients now are going back to variable rate mortgages. Yeah, you can lock in a 1 or 2 year. I think it also depends if you're planning on selling the property. If you're planning on selling, you've got to lock in a 5-year variable. That might not be good. But from what I'm talking to the guys in the business, the brokers, they're saying a lot of guys are just going with variable rate, and that way they take advantage of the cuts as they come. Fixed rate might look okay for a while, but at this time next year might not look very good. So most people are, from what I hear, are sticking with variable. I'm probably going to do the same. I've got 2 mortgages coming up later this year. Both are fixed. I'll probably just lock those in for variable rate on both of them, because I do think rates are going to be coming down here over the next couple of years. May as well take advantage of the cuts as they come. But final thing I'll just leave you with, again, be careful, folks, of who you listen to, because again, when I was talking about these rate cuts coming, this wasn't my opinion on this. This was Wall Street Journal, which does a weekly report on the Canadian economy. Guys like David Rosenberg, Canada's top economist. I get newsletters and mortgage letters from TD and Royal Bank every month. So this was them telling me that these interest rates were going to be coming down later this year. It was a consensus, follow the Canadian peso. It had been meticulously dropping. So that's what I gave you guys here, but boy, I got so much pushback. So where are you guys now? Are you going to admit that you were wrong from those blogs I was doing 2 or 3 months ago? We've got our first cut, and there's more coming. We're going to probably get 2 more later this year, and probably 3 or 4 by the first half of 2025. But be careful who you listen to, folks. I've talked about this many times in who your sphere of influence is. Follow people that are reputable. Follow people that are in the business and have transparency. That's the only people I follow. I could care less about some anonymous guy on X or on YouTube or TikTok or whatever else. There's a lot of complainers out there. There's a lot of people that want to get you into that fear, misery loves company camp. They've made some horrible mistakes in their lives, these people. They're telling me you don't own a home without telling me you don't own a home. They want interest rates to go up, which is very strange to me. So they obviously don't own any assets. But rather than admit to it and maybe buckle down and turn a corner and try and get some things going for themselves, instead they waste hundreds of more hours going on to social media sites saying that everything is going to collapse and interest rates are going to go up and there's no way they're going to reduce rates. Be careful with these people. There's lots of good sources out there, reliable sources on where rates are going and where markets are going. Those are the ones I follow and that I try and dole out to you guys here on my blog. So, 1/4 point drop last month. We're going to get more coming. I think probably 2 more later this year. If you're in the market to buy a home and you're pre-approved, I'd probably try and get in front of it without sounding like a typical realtor. If you can find the right home, that's the problem here. Not a lot of good quality homes for sale. Not a lot's going to get listed here over the next couple months for summer. But I would try and get in front of it. If you wait until next spring, interest rates could be another 150 basis points lower. You're probably going to have a lot more competition at that time. So if you can find the right house, you might want to get in front of it now. Go on a variable rate or lock in for 1 or 2 years or whatever you want to do. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.